yesterday outside the county courthouse in Charlottesville, right after immigration agents showed up there to start taking people. This is just an instant pressure point for this community. It's a pretty big turnout, too. Masks plus no ID equals abduction. And it makes sense in terms of how quickly people were willing to literally take to the streets of this, right? Everybody needs to be able to go to court, no matter what your immigration status is. Maybe you're a victim of a crime. Maybe you're a witness in an important case. Maybe you're a defendant. If people are too scared to come to court now because Trump's immigration agents are lying in wait at court to arrest them, then courts will not be able to function fairly or effectively for anyone. Judges are responsible for the safety of everybody who appears before the court for any reason, right? For the safety and security of those people so they can do their lawful business before the court. If Trump's immigration agents are staking out courthouses to grab people, to kidnap people, once they show up to take part in a lawful court proceeding, that stops judges from fulfilling their responsibilities under the law for what happens with their cases and in their courtrooms. Now, this was also a point of tension in Trump's first term. In Trump's first term, he also sent immigration agents to go to try to arrest people at their court appearances. And it was a flashpoint that state judges have a duty to ensure the safety of the people who appear before them in court, whether as plaintiffs or defendants or witnesses. But today, a whole new level. Today, the FBI arrested a county judge in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. According to the FBI, this judge knew that Trump's immigration agents were outside her courtroom waiting to arrest a man who was before her court. They say she sent the immigration agents away from her hearing room and then escorted the man and his lawyer out of the courtroom through a private exit. For that, the Trump administration has arrested her and charged her with 2 felonies. She herself arrested, brought before a federal court, and then released today on her own recognizance. Her attorney says that the judge intends to defend herself vigorously. He says she looks forward to being exonerated. But if this feels like an insane and reckless escalation from the Trump administration arresting a judge, I will tell you, you are not alone. It sure felt like that to lots of people in Wisconsin today. People who showed up outside of the federal courthouse in Milwaukee after the judge was arrested. More than 100 people out there today on no notice on Friday in the middle of the day to emergency spontaneously show up and protest the arrest of this judge in Milwaukee. Just instant reaction to this bright new line that's been crossed by Trump. It's being treated as a crisis by members of Congress, too. This was Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin today. He said, every American should be deeply troubled by this massive escalation. This is an unmistakable descent further into authoritarian chaos. Joining us now is Congressman Raskin of Maryland, the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. Sir, thank you so much for being here. That's a really delighted to be the result. Let me ask you if any of the way that I explained that sort of seems the wrong way around to you, if it seems like I'm putting the emphasis in the wrong place. It seems to me that Trump having a judge arrested is a reckless and desperate move. It seems to me like, yes, there are connections to previous flashpoints and tensions that Trump has raised in even his first term by trying to put
takes it back to the edge of base camp. And as he peers out, he sees that the resupply ship is sailing away. He made it to base camp just in time to see the ship leave.
This has to have felt incredibly heartbreaking. But there is actually a little bit of light in this tunnel of darkness. Lawson goes onto the base camp and he finds a rescue party that is there. They are about to send out a search party, and instead they all overwinter together there at base camp, and they actually all make it off of Antarctica alive. Even today, a trek across Antarctica is considered one of the hardest things you could possibly undertake. This is an extraordinary achievement.
Lawson's crew may have given their lives to map the Antarctic tundra, but they never dared explore what was buried deep beneath it. Coming up, an expedition to the center of the Earth gets support from an unlikely source.
Now, most people would obviously think that an idea like this is crazy, but it's not that far-fetched to the President of the United States.
CID clears no walking parks.
That's true.
But I think there's got that too.
Insane. It's the first major innovation in CIDP treatment in over 30 years.
Victorhextruline has been proven to significantly reduce the risk of symptoms getting worse.
My CIDP can be treated with once weekly injections that take about 30 to 90 seconds.
Do not use Victorhextruline if you have serious allergy to any of its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions like trouble breathing, a decrease in blood pressure leading to fainting, and allergic reactions such as rashes, swelling under the skin, shortness of breath, and hives have been reported. The most common side effects are respiratory and urinary tract infections, headache, and injection site reactions. It may increase the risk of infusion-related reactions and infection. Tell your doctor if you have a history of infections or symptoms of an infection.
I'm hitting fairways with the fellas.
I'm hitting her my number one.
Visit livevivically.com or talk to your neurologist.
Organic soil from Miracle-Gro has grown me the best garden I have ever had.
Good soil, and you get good results.
Look at that.
The broccoli was fantastic.
That broccoli, I think some of them were 6, 7 pounds.
So handsome.
Oh, I can't buy this. What's
Hang
wrong?
on there. Actually, you can. Your Empower investment account has performed well, and this whole off-whitish cantaloupe thingy is really working for you.
So,
I'm back. Nobody says that. Get good at money so you can be a little back empowered.
Hello, I'm Veronica.
my name is Garvin, and we switched to Consumer Cellular.
With Verizon, I was paying about $150 a month. With Consumer Cellular, I'm paying about half that.
Okay, this is doable. This is affordable.
You get the exact same coverage for half price. That's a beautiful thing.
Switching over to about 20 minutes. I got to keep my phone. I got to keep my number.
Done deal.
Call 1-800-588-3604
Your mom already
to
left?
switch and save up to half with Consumer Cellular. Plus, for a limited time, new customers get their second month free when they sign up today. Subway's got a new meal of the day. Chips and a drink.
But it's Friday, so if you stay up, or you can always send a text.
Things move a little more smoothly.
I don't think she's gonna be up that long, but in truth, there's no time.
Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase.
Yeah.
Pick more of what's yours.
Not only that, I know that there's how to stay out there,
has held a profound place in
but
history.
I would think
From
she
ancient
should
texts
have
like
it.
the Book of the Dead to
I really
monuments
don't
like the towering Great Sphinx, these iconic wonders and legends continue to inspire our quest for the truth.
No, I'm raising this to get better view while I start streaming.
Holy Marvels, new episode, Monday at 10. Only on the History Channel. Next day on the History Channel app. Former President John Quincy Adams had a lot going for him. He spoke 7 languages, served on the Supreme Court after being president, and his IQ has been estimated at 175, even higher than Einstein's. So it
Maybe
might
another
surprise
bottle
you
of
to hear
water.
he funded one of the strangest missions in American history.
It's the 1820s. We're in Washington, D.C., and President John Quincy Adams is ready to approve a pretty shocking expedition. Is it a new passageway west for expansion? No. Is it to explore new trade routes through South and Central America? Not even close. Quincy Adams is being asked to fund an expedition to send search parties deep into the Earth's surface, hoping to discover subterranean worlds and conduct trade with a race of people who maybe live there. According to some, Quincy Adams is a believer in what's called the hollow earth theory. The idea that the earth may be hollow and uneven worlds is actually a theory that goes back all the way to ancient Greeks, but in 1700s and 1800s where it really picks up steam in Europe and the Americas. There's one man in particular, a guy by the name of John C. who in 1818 writes a piece known as Circular Number 1. Since that postulates that there's two pathways to the hollow center of the earth, one on the North Pole and one on the South Pole. And if we dig deep enough, we can find those pathways to get to this new world.
Sans is ready to make this happen, and so he calls out for 100 brave souls to help him dig into the earth and to try to find these hidden worlds that lie just beneath our feet.
As an enticement, he tells these would-be volunteers they're going to find a world full of men, full of riches, and full of great praise, thrifty exploits. I guess this is what a world looks like before the discovery of gold. That the chance for riches comes in the form of thrifty vegetables.
Now, most people would obviously think of an idea like this is crazy, but it's not that far-fetched to the President of the United States.
There's some debate about whether Adam would fall in on hollow earth theories, or if he just wanted to do some exploration of the North and South Poles. Sadly for Sims and Quincy Adams and the Mole Andrew Jackson, who was far too busy with above-ground potatoes to bother with any subterranean potatoes. With government funding gone, Sims would die 2 years later, never realizing his dream of meeting the Mole people and eating their thrifty vegetables.
Quincy Adams' Hollow Earth expedition might not be the most unbelievable expedition funded by a president. Imagine millions of military dollars spent on a voyage of the mind.
Conventional espionage is, although a very successful way of gathering intelligence on the foe, it's also very difficult. So, during the decades of the Cold War, the government comes up with a plan. The U.S. military establishes Operation Stargate. This is a program by which 15 men are trained at Fort Meade in Maryland in a psychological exercise that's called remote viewing. What is remote viewing? Well, simply put, it is psychic spying. The principle of psychic spying is that people use the power of their mind to locate all the usual intelligence targets, missile silos, military bases, ballistic missile submarines, that sort of thing. The advantage offered by remote viewing is that you get all of the successes associated with traditional espionage without taking on the hazards and the risks of sending somebody behind the lines of a potentially hostile country.
We know from declassified documents that the United States government is interested in phenomena like extrasensory perception since the 1950s, but it doesn't really take off until the late 60s and early 70s, where there's whispers that the Russians might also be dabbling in this psychic ability.
But does psychic spying actually work?
Turns out, the results are way better than chance alone should allow. Some of the estimates about the success rate of this program put the figure at 78%. For some of these things, the Army identifies 6, quote, star performers. One of these star performers is named Joseph McMahon. During his remote viewing session, he begins to sketch up what he's seeing. McMahon claims that he's capable of seeing deep into the Soviet Union, and he observes the construction of a large submarine. And what McMahon describes ends up being the Typhoon-class Soviet ballistic missile submarines 6 months before their existence is made public.
But while McMahon is seen as a star performer, he's not even the best one of the group. That would be his colleague Pat Price, who is deemed a psychic treasure. Pat Price is supposedly successful in being able to infiltrate an underground Soviet nuclear research site.
Price claims to remote view the development of a particle beam weapon that the Soviets are going to use to shoot down submarines.
Despite its promise, Operation Stargate never really takes off.
Everything okay? Eventually, the CIA decides that it's time to revisit remote viewing. And in 1995, decides it's time to scuttle the program.
But there's a suspicion that it's only in public that the plot has been booked. Some people believe these programs continue to this day. There is a theory that this is a classic black dog. It's still going on, but it's buried somewhere in the private sector perhaps.
Hey, look, I got some straightforward shit here. Just the way I like it. The CEO will go local real saga. Those motherfuckers always using the rail yard over in Cypress Flat to smuggle all sorts of shit out the city. Now they got a serious crew, so the rail yard can't find no guards willing to put their life on the line every other night. But the CEO knows.
I was out on the river. I came across this snail of that one. in the dry area.
And he calculated that the best course of action is to actually cut them off. So the likelihood to move forward quickly get help moving back.
Second, and unable to navigate the shore without a captain, the situation rapidly descends in place. There are 150 people on the raft. They are the sunlight, the daytime is piercing them. They have barrels of wine and a few biscuits to sustain themselves. Things are so bad that people start using their shoes, their belts, their clothing, anything that they think would be of sustenance.
By day 4, only 67 people are still alive on the raft. The others killed either by starvation, drowning, or fighting. As the fourth day turns to the fifth day, they begin to look at the bodies of the dead and think the unthinkable. The survivors on the raft believe that they can be dead. As they decide who to eat, they look off to the distant horizon, and something catches their eyes.
It's a ship. Which turns out to be the Argus, not only French, but part of the original convoy that's now been sent from Mexico. Of the original 150 on the raft crews, only 15 are rescued. Captain Hugh is charged with dereliction of duty and reckless navigation. Because of his noble status, he skirts the death penalty and gets 3 years in prison, plus a lifetime as perhaps the worst captain in French naval history. It seems the term the captain goes down with the ship doesn't translate to French very well. Coming up, a Pokemon for the ages.
Your eyes are drawn to this one figure, and it's like, wait a minute, this is 60 years before cell phones really become popular.
But the 16th century king who boiled the chef to death. And that is an accurate eyes are drawn to this one figure. And it's like, wait a minute, this guy's got Brooklyn hipster vibes.
That is known as the time-traveling hipster.
The sunglasses, they resemble sunglasses people wear today, as if they came out of the 21st century surfer shop. His hair is not from slick back in the traditional 1940s style. It's got that kind of messy, hipstery kind of look. He's wearing a shirt with an M logo, and he's holding an object. It looks almost like a portable camera, like a small phone even. So for time travel aficionados, this individual really stands out.
This hipster isn't the only person who appears to be out of place in time.
Another great example is the Charlie Chaplin film, Circus, in 1928. We have this video of a woman walking through the street, and she's carrying what looks to be a cell phone. She's holding it up to her ear, as if she's speaking to someone or checking her voice mail. This is 60 years before cell phones really become popular. Skeptics say this is far more likely to be some sort of ear trumpet. But wait.
You know what's easier than robbing a bank? Robbing bank robbers. And as luck would have it, there's a 211 on the police scanner somewhere in business. Use the app in the nerve center to access the traffic camera network and find out where the robbery is going down. Then just swoop in and take the payday. You're plugged into the traffic camera network. Check through the cameras and try to find this robbery.
You can see that there's grass growing up from cracks in the rubble. The entire place appears neglected and abandoned. You even see some cows chewing on the grass in the middle of the rubble. As he walks toward the job, he is engulfed in this storm. And on the wall, he's swallowed by this yellow, strange cloud. He turns around and starts to head in the opposite direction. And when he does, the area he just flew over, there's no longer in his way. Because the armored warrior liner, there's planes on the atmosphere. It's totally beyond what he just saw seconds ago when he flew overhead. It appears to be an operational mistake. Confused, Robert takes notice from other armed witnesses. He looks at the area of the aircraft that were off on the field, and not spoilers they were with the 1935. But they're beginning to appear. And one of the aircraft stands out as the unusual because it's a low-wing flight. On the target, you can see the one. And the airplane didn't work on the place until the units on the air. And the police have to the gun. Now they're on the field. Suddenly, the guys come back in the storm. It's dusting, it's raining, lightning, thunder, and here comes the mysterious yellow cloud swallowing clouds back like you.
That's it. Looks like some cops have responded to the call. I can patch you into the security.
It's not unheard of that people would report something out of the ordinary, but if you were to return home and report something like this,
Okay, these guys look like professionals. Military-grade weapons, tactical training.
the flight sort of just goes nowhere and gets lost in history. But something strange happens a few years later, in 1939. England is out of the war against Nazi Germany.
But then again, they don't have me. Try and take them down before more cops show up. Or you'll be fighting on all fronts.
The British also developed new aircraft technology to compete with the Germans. Spitfire, fighter
So the idea that they come up with is destroy the game. They will terrorize the population, but they'll also take outside going after power, and it should have a negative impact on the manufacturing process.
An easy way to take out dam is to shoot a torpedo at it. Because the Germans actually have torpedo nets. So that's why.
You stupid motherfuckers.
Dr. Barnes
You're going nowhere.
He's got a plan.
You got nowhere to go. You got no way out, bitch.
To Dr. Wallace, the answer is as easy as skipping stones.
Fucking punk!
The water, it hits the dam, then drops down and explodes. And just the right point to create maximum.
Fucking hell!
But the key element is that the bombs must have backspin.
Fuck you and your mama.
Helps in several ways. One, it helps with the skipping off of the water. But
I'll
also,
kill you!
When it hits the wall of the dam, the backspin has the English effect, and it brings it down to the base of the dam, so it's not.
I'll kill you, motherfucker! You're going straight to hell!
He hits the golf course. He realized something about the golf ball that may actually help with the bouncing ball. And that is that the golf ball has the...
Suck a cock!
Because a golf ball, the way the dimples work on it, it actually helps create the backspin. Barnes Wallace
Go to hell!
actually incorporate this into their bouncing ball, even to the point where there's hundreds of golf balls.
You're
By
dead!
July 1942 is test time. Will Dr. Barnes Wallace's dimpled bomb have what it takes?
You shit stain!
They find a place in Wales called Monty Road Jam, and that's where they first test the bouncing
Fucking
ball.
punk!
The RAF bomber takes off, with the bouncing ball slumped underneath. But as part of the sling, there are belts, which are
Fuck yeah! Damn it! Frank's been shot! Brothers, find cover! Piece of shit!
Exactly the right height over the water, 60 feet, and you have to travel exactly 32 miles per hour. This is a very narrow.
A soldier's been shot! Cocksucker! Brothers, take cover! Brothers is hit! We got a man hit!
The bomb works.
The confident bombers. Eager to pounce havoc on the Germans. Enter the dam busters.
Fuck you!
On May 17, 1943, the dam busters go into action. And the raid is led by a 44-year-old
Piece of shit.
by the name of Sabotage. 133 men from Britain and their allies fly through 19 bombs. The plan calls for them to hit 3 dams in Germany's Ruhr Valley, their industrial heartland.
So, just gaming. I will show you the game, but every time I do that, after a while I get flagged, so it's like, I ain't doing this with that. But you can also get a history in the background, so you might understand at the same time.
So that Mulkey will make it through, and Mulkey releases his toxic bomb.
And then suddenly the bomb explodes, concrete is crumbling, a huge column of water goes into the sky with complete success.
By the end of their mission, the dam busters take out 2 of the 3 targets. But they pay a high price.
Out of 133 men, 53 are killed on this raid. 3 of them end up in the hands of the Germans. But from a propaganda perspective, this was a huge shot in the arm for the Allied cause. And as a result, the dam busters go down in history as one of the most legendary squadrons ever to hit the skies.
I think we should all be grateful that they never combined bouncing bombs with pigeon-guided missiles. That could have gotten ugly. Coming up, a gun that can cause a real headache if you're not careful.
He thinks that he can take the firearm to the next level by making it a hands-free device.
Does have serious reason. The next attack stalls the path.
Putting people first has always been our path. From the thousands of people who built our hearts, to the millions of people who
They estimated 1 in 10 men may have Crohn's disease, or PE, and urology specialists use PE to help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Start studying today. Go to Sabotage.com. Now, if you're lucky, you may prefer PE. Treatment disease still good. The only apparel with adjustable medical grade support designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and lead you to confidence to get back out there. Still is supported apparel engineered with 90 feet of high-grade cables to reinforce the body and control matter to allow you to adjust the support. Still is trusted by professionals, world-class athletes, and even warriors who all want one thing: more activity and less pain. Learn more at stillgood.com.
Cooking stew notwithstanding, there's one very flawed past design that is a real headache to move past. At this time in history, guns have serious recall. When they fired that gun, that sucker was a kiss a dead match. The neck could snap, the skull could crack, and even teeth could be broken.
And thus, the gun helmet is a recipe for disaster.
Shooting a gun from your head might have you reaching for the aspirin. But in the heat of World War I, there's an even stranger way to fire a round.
It's 1915, and Great Britain is in the middle of a fierce battle with the Ottomans on the peninsula of Gallipoli. The Australian armed forces have joined the Gallipoli campaign to overtake the Ottoman straits and eventually take the capital city of Constantinople to host it. But here's the problem. As this fight continues, the Ottomans
Shout to
315,000 boots on the ground, whereas the British and their allies have dropped down to 80,000. They lost more than 200,000 men.
Heavily outgunned, severely outmanned, one day is for certain. It was time for the Brits and their allies to retreat.
There's one problem. If you're going to retreat, you have to use the soldiers on the front line to march and retreat, and they suppressive fire on the enemy. The Brits estimate around 30,000 casualties.
Now, when you get to this, they'll need a plan B. And fast.
A Lance Corporal in the Australian Imperial Force by the name of William Scurry actually has a brilliant idea. can full of water, and a small hole poked in the bottom, and a rather than empty with water. The empty fin is attached to a trigger with a string. As it fills, you drip from a full fin and increases pressure until finally it discharges back. To sell the discussion the illusion even more, Pig Soldiers, aka Scarecrows.
So, the rumor that Fort Z has a shoot-on-sight policy is not technically true, but there is no disciplinary for shooting unarmed trespassers.
I have a fix for this. Send the coordinates.
There's just one slight problem.
I have been watching Zancudo like patient but devious hogfish, and they have just sold the shipment of armor to Merryweather. Would be very poetic to take armor and return to Fort, yes?
I don't believe in poetry, but yes, it's a good plan.
It's going to take you
Picture, if you will, two 10-foot-tall steel wheels, upon which are 70 slow-burning cordite rockets. In the middle, a canister stuffed with 4,000 pounds of explosive. The idea? Get up close to the beach with the Panzandro, spark up the rockets, and let her rip. They want to send 12 Panzandros up to the beach at Normandy to blow channels in the wall so that the troops could just walk on through. That's an insane idea for this rocket-powered wheel of death. In late 1943, Prince Noise decides it's time to take the Panjandrum out for a little test trip. Prince Noise invites the military's top brass to witness this war machine in action. This being a test, they decide we're not going to actually blow something up, so its payload, rather than being 4,000 pounds of explosive, is 4,000 pounds of inert sand. This turns out to be a very wise decision. When the test begins, they light the rockets and the Panjandrum comes off the landing craft. Everything looks good for the first 20 or 30 feet. Then it starts losing rockets and all hell breaks loose. And all this
Let me know if you need some.
starts chasing the Panjandrum down the beach like it's a chew toy. Then the Panjandrum turns and starts going after the dog. Rockets are firing irregularly, the thing flipping from side to side like a wagon wheel. It's an unmitigated disaster, and for that reason alone, the Panjandrum is not included in the plans for the invasion. We are happy to report that no dogs were harmed in the making of the Panjandrum. While this rolling bomb quickly spins out of control, the Allies have no choice but to dust themselves off, get back out on the field, and toss a Hail Mary. In the early 1940s, without question, the most popular game in America is our national pastime, baseball.
Because baseball is such a big deal, most draft-eligible men know how to pitch fastball or at the very least throw a pitch with some accuracy.
Your resting face. It's unique.
The Office of Strategic Service theorizes that if an American can throw a baseball, well then he should be able to throw grenades shaped like a baseball.
The U.S. military creates the Beano C-13 or the baseball grenade. The Beano C-13 baseball grenade is 5 ounces and 9.5 inches in circumference, which is the exact size of a baseball. It's even thrown with the same motion of 2 fingers. In March of 1944, testing began at the Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland. But the baseball grenade doesn't exactly have the best wrapping up. The Beano has a nasty habit of prematurely detonating. And because of this, 2 soldiers are mortally wounded and 44 injured in the testing process. They improved the fuse, and the U.S. military sends 10,000 baseball grenades to Europe. Unfortunately, despite the fuse chip, the Beano still has a 10% failure rate, so it's not a very effective weapon. By war's end, production of the grenade is ended and the remainder of the stock is destroyed. 20 years later, another American sport gets a chance of changing the game of war.
In the 1960s, baseball thrived in popularity, and by the 1970s, football by far becomes America's favorite spectator sport. Because of this, the U.S. Army decides to meld the love of this cold weather game with the Cold War.
It's time to hit the gridiron with the anti-tank Nerf football grenade. U.S. Army weapons designers take Nerf footballs and hollow out the insides, replacing the insides with anti-tank TNT nosing road sharp. They make it 14 ounces, the regulation weight of an NFL football. So to any soldier, it's going to feel just like tossing a fish can around. But it turns out throwing a perfect spiral with a bomb is near impossible.
Football is flying through the air because there's an even distribution of weight surrounding the hollow, or the focus at the ball. But in testing, the 14 ounces of explosive makes the trajectory of the Nerf grenade unpredictable.
In the end, it's figured out that the Nerf football grenade is not going to score any touchdowns. reinforces something special about Uncle Sam.
Other countries will make a deadly weapon and teach their soldiers how to use it. But what makes America different is they look at our boys and say, let's design something that they're going to do.
Who knows, maybe someday there'll be a basketball bomb to dunk on the bad guy, or a golf ball you can tuck into a bunker of just spitball here. Coming up, grenades get even spicier.
Engineer comes up with an idea of weaponizing the ghost pepper.
This stinks.
Non-chemical weapon.
When it comes to your wireless plan, don't settle for less. Get more with a free 5G phone and real unlimited data from Straight Talk. More ways to connect. More reasons to share. And when you still have this Straight Talk, you can get more moments to yourself by getting something for them. Switch to Straight Talk and get a free 5G phone on America's most reliable 5G network. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
What makes Sam Adams American life the most premium life here? It is awarded the best life here in America, and it's made with 100% American ingredients. Sam Adams American life, America's most premium life here. It's deer season. Already? No, not that deer season. Deer season. You can get $3,000 off at an authorized John Deere dealer. A deer season at sales price? That's right. It's deer season. Now through June 2nd. What's up? We got plans to release by morning. Ice. Hot. UIC Hot. Nighttime recovery. So bad. Those less super hydration mouthwash. The sweet scent of a honey feature. Moisturize vitamin D.
You know how to use all those tests. You my boys. You think I think I'm good is gonna stay like that. USAS, grandfather's in the membership. You should membership with your mom so she could share with you. Easy. USAS, check if you're eligible today. I'm a lawyer on the way for home. For home buying, you only goes outside when you should call. So mom uses Chewy to get his food and knickknacks at a great price. Delivered fast, right to their door. For quality meds, select the pets, carry Chewy. Fashionable and their best item deal. Now you can download the Sabotage and shop on prices. Choose the name and your budget. The whole thing is very something tight. In the same way, our spring water is earned in this pursuit, sourced and bottled to the perfect taste. We call it the art of water, where every drop is like high Christmas going to inspire us. Saratoga, pursuing the art of water since 1872. With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Sabotage us easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase.
So, what brings you looking for that?
Just want someone to sign in.
What should we post and what hands?
Understand. Stay fixed. It's online personal styling for your size, style, and look.
This was easy.
There are weapons that can take out tanks. Some that can wipe out entire civilizations. Yet there are others so powerful, they'll leave your enemy begging for a glass of milk.
The ghost pepper is one of the most potent peppers in existence. On the Scoville meter of heat, it goes up to over 1 million. The average jalapeno is just 10,000 heat.
Despite its high heat rating, the ghost pepper is often used to cook. But what do you do when you run out of food recipes?
2010, engineer named R.B. Srivastava from the Indian Defense Research Organization comes up with an idea of weaponizing the ghost pepper.
It's known as the chili grenade, is a combination of ground up ghost pepper seeds and phosphorus. When it ignites, the phosphorus will help create a ghost pepper fog. When utilized, the ghost pepper grenade chokes the enemy's respiratory system, making them feel like they can't breathe. This is a non-chemical weapon. One that has been deployed by the Indian Army. Great success. In July 2016, when a series of riots broke out in India, the army comes in. It doesn't afford to use rubber bullets. So the Indian government deploys the ghost pepper grenade. It incapacitates people, and they're able to take it into custody with no casualties. Also coming in, turn up the heat on a group of hiding fugitives. In 2015, the grenade is also employed to hunt down a terrorist by the name of Sabotage. The Indian authorities find out that Ahmed and the rest of his team are holed up in a cave just near the town of Rabil. So they descend upon it and employ the chili grenade. When troops enter the cave in gas masks, they find terrorists coughing uncontrollably, eyes swollen shut with irritation, begging for mercy. The ghost pepper grenade has worked perfectly. Not sold on catching the bad guy with a million Scoville heat units? Try stopping them cold in their tracks with Spider-Man's web. In 2017, the City of Birmingham Police Department in Alabama is testing a new, less than lethal means of incapacitating someone. This brings little device with little to no pain. So no shock like you have with the taser, no burn like you have with pepper spray, no blood force like you would have with the narcotic. It's called the Polarat 100, but it's also known colloquially as the Spider-Man lasso. The Spider-Man lasso is essentially an 8-foot-long Kevlar tether that has hooks on the ends that is fired from a device that shoots it at 660 feet per second. The concept is based on a very old weapon that's been used in the Americas for hundreds of years. It's called a boa, and the outdoors would use it to snare an animal that they were pursuing with weighted gloves on either end of the throat. They can bring it into a spin, project it toward an animal, it'll wrap around the animal and cause the animal to collapse, and then they can capture the animal. But this lasso takes its 1800s era predecessor to the extreme. So you cock this thing like a gun, it's got a laser sight on it. You're running after somebody, you fire this at them, catch their feet, catch their arms, whatever, and they essentially can't move. When the assailant starts to move, that's when the hooks really dig in and you really can't get out of it. As cool as it may look, the most important thing to law enforcement is how safe it is. Between 2010 and 2021, as many as 500 people are killed by tasers used by law enforcement. The Spider-Man lasso seems to provide the perfect alternative. You have a way of making somebody stop if they're trying to run away. You don't have to roll the dice with their physical well-being. You simply hit them with the Spider-Man lasso and drop to the ground and take them into custody. Turns out you don't have to get bit by a radioactive spider to catch a thief with your web. Coming up, it's quite possibly the most expensive laser pointer ever created. It is a passenger-side airplane that shoots a giant freaking laser out of the nose cone. Like the 16th century king who boiled his chef to death.
And that is an Android factory.
Only one mouth-watering series. Experiment ingenuity. This flat-track process allowed noodles to be rehydrated that revolutionized your taste. People today don't realize how good they have it. It's the food that built America. New episode Sunday at 9. Only on the Mystery Channel.
Again, tender navy bean nestled in brown sugar sauce with a smoky Canton label.
she talks about, so she gave him the check under my own auto insurance.
It's pronounced good. Liberty. Sounds special. Only pay for what you
Miss Betty, sweetie, good?
I want to throw my old spice juicy perfume. Now I'm smelling like perspirin.
I did. There's 24/7 sun protection.
You did this to my kids.
Oh, don't forget, one was my dog.
Superhuman home, food seed, and compressed.
If no one else could talk, you would ask for.
Body drink. The future's here. We've been creating it for more than 100 years. From the most advanced technology to the broadest, most reliable network of sales and service dealers. Always moving forward. We lead, others follow.
Let's go ahead before Simpsons open up.
How'd you guys have a meeting?
So what you can do regular food in this office. Scott's food and products. Now the time for some assistant needs and trivial will be defeated.
Hey, it's time to feed the dogs real food in the right amount. A healthy weight can help dogs live a longer, happier life. The Farmer's Dog makes weight management easy with fresh food pre-portioned for your dog's needs. It's an idea whose time has come.
I graduated from Southern New Hampshire University. I always said I would go back to school when I had time. I went on a website, I spoke to an admission counselor, we applied right then and there. That's when the journey really begins.
Your student program, having the support they have, really helped me understand what I can accomplish.
And I learned this just by taking classes at night while working a full-time job.
The resources at SMHC were incredible.
I think if I was back at the beginning, I would choose SMHC all over again.
Social Security started with a promise. You work hard, pay in, so Social Security will be there for you. AARP will never stop fighting to protect and strengthen Social Security. That's our promise to you. It's an idea that many believe should never have taken off. And fair warning, don't let your cat chase after it.
Outside of Tucson, Arizona, there's a 3,300-acre site where there's over 4,000 aircraft that all have a different story.
The strangest story of them all? What about the most expensive aircraft ever built? During the 1980s, laser technology takes off.
But no one's ever really figured out how to capitalize on it. But in 2007, the government decided it is time to go big and figure out how to make a laser take flight.
The so began what would become a $5 billion weapons system. The Boeing YAL-1 airborne laser. You take a standard Boeing 747 aircraft, and in the nose cone can mount a megawatt chemical oxygen iodine laser.
Simply put, it is a passenger-sized airplane that shoots a giant freaking laser out of the nose cone.
After years of ground testing the laser, it's time to go airborne to see if this bad boy can take out a missile. The YAL-1 laser targets the missiles, fires on them, and actually destroys one of the two missiles. But unfortunately, it's still not good enough to be deployed in actual combat situations. The Department of Defense weighs out the pros and cons of keeping a flying laser in the air. Pros, shooting down missiles with lasers is pretty darn cool. Cons, well, there's just one, but it's a big one.
Their big concern is what's the effect on other aircraft. Imagine you and your family are on your flight to Disney World going across the country and a laser beam cuts the plane in half. That can't happen. So, that's why you'll see that 747 right there in the bone.
While the YAL-1 airborne laser is officially retired on February 12, 2012, it's not the last attempt at nailing precision in warfare.
So you're a sniper, say in Afghanistan, and you've got a target 2 miles away that's moving quickly. You have to calculate everything in your mind. The wind velocity, the trajectory, your altitude, their altitude. There are so many different variables on your flight. You have one shot and one shot only. You take it and you miss. Now. For years, modifications have been made to sniper rifles to make them more accurate. But could there be a way to make them flawless? In the 2000s, DARPA, which is the research and development arm of the Department of Defense in the United States, has created a new bullet. A bullet that actually will guide itself to a target and make adjustments along the way. In 2014, after years of development, DARPA's new Exacto Smart Sniper Bullet was born.
Exacto stands for Extreme Accuracy Task Ordnance, and it's amazing. It's a 50 caliber bullet that can self-steer, correct, and literally change directions in midair.
And just how do you get a bullet traveling at 2,000 miles per hour to know exactly where you want it to go without fail? The sniper paints a target with a laser or some other means that the exact around with a photo guided sensor. It passes like an electronic eye. So as the round is flying downrange, he's looking at the target and adjusting his trajectory to make sure that ultimately it hits the target.
DARPA runs some experiments on the Exacto bullet, so they place an experienced sniper with a complete novice shooter, and after multiple tests, they both hit the targets the same.
Now even the worst snipers can succeed, which kind of sounds like cheating, but it hasn't made its way onto the battlefield just yet.
Once the Exacto bullet is successfully utilized on the battlefield, it's going to be an absolute game changer. You can take a relatively inexperienced shooter and make them instantly lethal with this technology.
We've seen missiles controlled by pigeons, bouncing bombs on a human torpedo. But while technology is constantly evolving, it will be truly hard to match those weapons that we already know to be unbelievable. Warning, what you're about to see could be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Imagine finding a tiny skeleton so strange it may be from another world.
It's got this sort of conical and bulbous head, these oversized eyes, and the skin seems sort of scaly.
It literally looks like nothing but this one. Or a beast-storming adventure that uncovers a horrific surprise.
She looks inside the secret and finds a foot.
So this is a second person, a second victim.
Now what happened?
What about finding the strange sound that almost caused a war?
There's some bubbles coming up. There is something down there that could ignite World War III.
These are the discoveries. So weird, they are truly unbelievable. Of all the amazing discoveries man has found beneath the Earth's surface, from the tombs of the pharaohs of Egypt, the first T-Rex in Montana, none are quite as baffling as one pocket-sized mystery found buried in the Chilean desert 20 years ago.
It's 2003. In the ghost town of Melora in the Chilean desert, local collector Oscar Munoz is digging out artifacts from the local landscape. Coins and bottles, things that don't really have a lot of value.
Oscar spots an object that is wrapped in a white cloth. Opening it, Oscar finds something unthinkable.
It is a little skeleton. It's about 6 inches long. It's got this sort of conical, bulbous head, these oversized eyes, and the skin, the whole covering on the body seems sort of guarded, almost even scaly.
It literally looks like nothing at this one. Munoz wonders, who or what could this be?
The next thing you know, there's a national magazine claiming that Mr. Munoz has discovered a dwarf extraterrestrial.
It fits the image in the popular mind of a being from another planet. What is sometimes called a gray.
It looks like what we might be seeing is alien life. An actual example, right? Not hidden away in Area 51 or something like that. On the other hand, scientists suggest, look, this might be a kind of human with some mutations or genetic abnormalities or some changes that we just haven't seen before.
In media coverage, the tiny skeleton is nicknamed Atta for the Atacama Desert, where the body was found.
Hoping to cash in on the ET hype, Munoz sells his incredible find to a local businessman for 50,000 pesos, which nets out to a whopping $64. Then, the skeleton disappears for a while.
In 2013, immunologist and genetics expert from Stanford University, Dr. Gary Nolan, gets his hands on the skeleton. And this is when the firestorm really begins. So Dr. Nolan does a visual basic survey, and a few things jump out. First, most humans have 12 sets of ribs. Atta only has 10. And second is that the handles in Atta reflect about a 5 or 6 year old, but Atta's size is about 6 inches. That's the size of a sort of a late-term fetus. One of the specialists, a pediatric radiologist, said he'd never seen anything that looked like this.
Is this proof these peculiar bones could belong to some type of otherworldly being?
Dr. Nolan realizes the only way to really get these answers is to get a DNA sample and examine the entire genome.
When the DNA is compared, right, to a bunch of different types of human samples, what we see is that there's a 90% identical match.
But what about the other 10%?
Scientists usually think probably related to the degraded specimen sample, and that probably accounts for difference. But the die-hard UFO enthusiasts think something else.
First, could be that aliens came down and actually mated with humans, so it's 10% alien DNA. Or it could be that maybe aliens came here before. They have 90% human DNA, and that 10% is the alien part of it that still remains. In the end, the Atta case is really interesting because you get something that happens in science all the time. You get a less than perfect answer.
It's not just the desert that hides buried mysteries. The gang butlers of Denmark also hold disturbing secrets from the past.
It's 1951, around the Civil War of Denmark, and two brothers, Viggo and Emil Oigel, and Viggo's wife, Greta Oigel, are traipsing through a cold, wet bog, harvesting peat or fuel to heat the home.
As the Oigers reach into the cold mud to harvest their field, something stops them dead in their tracks.
This head thaws to the surface, a human head. You see this entire body there.
Most of the body is naked. The head is covered in some kind of cap. The most eerie thing of all is this expression on his corpse. It's a calm, almost serene expression.
There have been recent news stories of a boy in Copenhagen gone missing, so perhaps they stumbled upon his body they find. They immediately called the police.
The first thing cops must do when they find a dead body is to establish the time of death. But in this case, that proves tricky.
The forensics examiners realize this can't be the kid from Copenhagen because the corpse is too old. By about 2,000 years.
That means this man lived some 500 years before Christ.
The body is impeccably preserved, down to facial wrinkles and whiskers on his chin. They're even able to establish his age at the time of death to be about 30 to 40 years old.
He becomes known as the Tolland man, perfectly preserved by the bog's unusual chemistry.
Bog water, it turns out, is pretty acidic and it's very low in oxygen, and furthermore, it contains tannins, which are exactly what we use to preserve leather. This environment perfectly preserved the skin of this guy over 2,000 years.
We even know what he ate because his last meal was still in his gut, and it consisted of a porridge, barley, and about 40 different seeds and some fish.
But there's much more to uncover about this mystery man.
He has a rope around his neck, suggesting that he was hanged. He also has a broken nose, and the bones of his face look like they've been crushed. His body and torso are covered in stab knife wounds as if he was constantly violent. He's some sort of murder victim.
The Colin Bogdan is not the only body that's been recovered from a bog. Thousands of them have actually been discovered since the 1700s, and they all seem to have met a violent end. This seems like more than a coincidence.
Researchers don't think these were just ordinary murders, but something more unbelievable.
There are many archaeologists who think that these bogs are actually a place of some sort of ritualistic or spiritual importance, because a lot of Europe during the Iron Age and Bronze Age was very heavily forested, and the bogs are one place where you can actually see the heavens.
Having a full glimpse of the sky with all the stars, it would be as if you were able to communicate with the gods.
Decaying plants also give off swampings, which can result in a eerie, otherworldly glow, which might have been seen as spirits or fairies to these Iron Age people.
Making bogs the perfect place to get your god's attention through human sacrifice.
The best theory of Colin Man's death is that he was sacrificed as an offering for fertility or a better crop harvest. But if not for the fact that these people were sacrificed in bogs, science wouldn't have this glimpse into Iron Age life.
After years of dissection across many labs, parts of this incredible find have unfortunately gone missing. The museum where the Bogdan is displayed has a request. If you happen to have the jar containing his intestine, please send it back. Coming up, a bizarre discovery that gives new meaning to the term red herring.
There is something down there. It's holding out a nuclear submarine. A Swedish naval officer is listening to underwater sounds, but what it's hearing doesn't sound like what he expected. This is bad news.
In a world of rising prices, Nissan is lowering them on our two most popular SUVs. The Always Adventure-Ready Pathfinder and our best-selling Rogue, a consumer brand Best Buy 11 years in a row, because we want our drivers to know we have your backs in mind on and off the road. From our U.S. factories to your driveway since 1983.
This week only downloads unlimited mini-sized pizzas for 50% off when you order online. Choose any size pizza you want, any crust you want, including new grilled one stuffed crust and any toppings you want. Get 50% off your perfect pizza for pizza. This week only downloads.
Sabotage lightweight flats, a super thin, flexible patch with maximum OTC strength lightweight that contours to the body to relieve pain right where it hurts. And did we mention it really sticks? Sabotage, it's good medicine.
Most people call meat filter when the gutters are clogged and they notice one of the many issues that can bring. You can get ahead of possible damage by protecting your home's gutters today. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 833-BLUE-FILTER or visit BlueFilter.com.
Applebee's 2 for $25. Choose 1 appetizer and 2 sizzling skillet entrees, including new hot honey chicken skillets or sizzling steak entrees. Applebee's 2 for $25 with new sizzling skillets. Turn it around.
I got somebody for that.
There's hope. They estimate 1 in 10 men may have coronavirus disease, or PD, and urology specialists use PD to help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today. GoGetSomebody.com.
text easily and send money quickly. That's convenience for Chase.
So, what brings you in today?
Just want someone to tell me
What's your nose and what pants? Help us here. Still Fix. It's online personal styling for your size, style, and look. This is easy. And your sweats sometimes inspire strange weapons. These spills of beans on a top-secret gas that induces a heart attack. They have a toxin that's untraceable and undetectable. This would constitute a sneak attack. You wouldn't even know it was happening.
It's declassified. New episodes tonight at 10. Only on the History Channel. Watch next day on the History Channel now.
New York, the city that never sleeps, is a well-known hive of non-stop activity. Less well-known are its strange, hidden treasures, like one discovered in New York City's financial district in 2010.
After the tragedy of 9/11, it takes years to clear out all of that debris from lower Manhattan.
Talking about 1.5 million tons of concrete and crumpled steel that has to be moved, so they excavate all the way down to the foundation of the buildings.
And whenever there's a construction operation of this magnitude, especially in such a historic site, there are always archaeologists to make sure that anything is discovered of historic value they can recover.
One of the archaeologists is Molly McDonald. As demolition continues, something catches her eye.
She notices a piece of wood sticking out amidst the steel and concrete and other debris. She goes down, grabs a team, starts to dig by hand, basically. And what she finds is 1 rib, 2 ribs, 3 ribs that are expertly spaced apart, and they look just like the ribs of the ship, and it's really old. Dendrochronologists are able to estimate the age of the wood to 1773, which means that this is a ship dating to before the American Revolution.
Now, what's really amazing about finding a ship like this is that every piece of timber tells a story. This particular lumber is riddled with wormholes from species that only exist in the Caribbean.
This provides some very compelling proof that this old Hudson River 30-footer sails the entire eastern seaboard of the United States all the way down to the Caribbean.
But how did it make its way from the sea to the foundation of the Twin Towers?
So in 1773, what would become lower Manhattan was actually likely underwater.
All of the soil excavated for construction is moved down to lower Manhattan to expand the overall profile of the city. But dirt cellars, they need things to stabilize it. So carriages, frames from houses, scrap wood would be placed in there to stabilize the dirt. You even have wooden boats that are moved down and used to shore up areas that were at one time underwater. And it provides us a fascinating insight into what the era of the pre-colonial United States looked like.
It takes a sharp eye to spot a treasure among the trash. But what about a sharp ear? Meet the heroic marine biologist who helped pull the West and Russia from the brink of war by making a very strange discovery.
It's 1981, at the height of the Cold War. It's difficult to communicate the intensity of tensions between the West and the Soviet Union.
The Soviets have invaded Afghanistan, and new U.S. President Ronald Reagan has vowed to stamp out any communist threat worldwide.
Earlier that year, a Soviet nuclear submarine runs aground in Swedish territorial waters. Tensions get even worse than when the Swedes confirm the presence of nuclear weapons on board. This is a powder today. One spark could ignite World War III.
So, of course, the Swedish Navy are on high alert, trying to detect any evidence that Soviet submarines might be intruding into their waters.
A Swedish naval officer is listening to underwater sounds, but what he's hearing doesn't sound like what he expected. He's in trouble.
But also, the sailors on deck see bubbles coming up. It reinforces the theory that there is something down there. It's probably another nuclear submarine. This is bad news.
So the panic is, have the Soviets developed some new propulsion system that defies our ability to detect it? In one example, the Swedes chased one of these bogies around the North Atlantic for months without ever having physical contact with it.
This cat and mouse game between the strange sound and the Swedes goes on for over a decade.
Finally, the Swedish Prime Minister has had it. He sends a letter to Boris Yeltsin demanding to know what the source of this phenomenon is.
And the reply comes back from Boris Yeltsin. I don't know what you're talking about.
Desperate, the Swedes hired Danish marine biologist Magnus Wahlberg to help interpret the mysterious acoustic signals. Magnus expects to hear what sounds like propellers or mechanics or sonar ping, but instead he hears what sounds like frying bacon.
Magnus is perplexed by this, but they're looking at it not through the lens of military concerns. They're looking at this matter through the lens of marine biologists.
So what was thought to be rumblings of war are actually something else.
What Magnus finds is that when herring are being hunted, they form something called a bait ball as a deterrent to predators.
In order to maintain the coordination of their bait ball, they have to communicate with each other. They expel air from their swim bladders out areas.
It's fish flatulence.
Now, if you have thousands of herring doing this all at once, it makes a lot of noise.
For the Swedish officer who has to deliver the report on what happened, it's not such good news. But at least he can console himself with the fact that they didn't start World War III.
This is most likely the first and last time fish flatulence nearly started a war. Coming up, severed limbs, ruin a beach party.
She looks inside the sneaker and finds a foot. Was this a murder victim? This is causing terror along the coast.
When the 16th century king who boiled his chef to death.
And that is an accurate fact to it.
The power of belief has held a profound place in history. From ancient texts like the Book of the Dead to monuments like the towering Great Sphinx. These iconic wonders and legends continue to inspire our quest for the truth. Join me as we investigate the surprising origins behind these holy marvels. New episode, Monday at 10. Only on the History Channel. Next day on the History Channel. Weight loss for so long.
I felt stuck. But Zepbound means change. Zepbound is for adults with obesity to help lose weight and keep it off.
It's changing what I believe is possible when it comes to weight loss.
It's changing how much weight I lose. Up to 48 pounds. And some lost over 58 pounds. Don't take it for religion, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Stop Zepbound and call your doctor if you have severe stomach pain or a serious allergic reaction. Severe side effects may include influence painting or gallbladder problems. Tell your doctor if you experience vision changes, depression, or suicidal thoughts before scheduling procedures with anesthesia. If you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills. Taking Zepbound with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems. Zepbound means change. Ask your doctor about Zepbound.
I think so too.
For a personal loan unlike your ambitions, only you take a swing at your kitchen now. You got it all. So-called personal loans, low fixed rates, borrow up to 100K, no fees required.
It's $10 Tuesday at KFC. Every Tuesday, grab 8 pieces of hot, juicy Kentucky Fried Chicken for just $10.
incredible.
This definitely did. Get a taste of $10 Tuesday. Only at KFC.
Excuse me, are you shopping online while standing in line?
Yeah.
Me too. It's spot croquettes that using PayPal.
Cool.
And PayPal lets me choose how I pay.
Oh, no, you're not gonna silly then, are you?
I used PayPal to buy this ticket, and I paid it off in 4 payments. No fees, no interest.
You know what else is really good? Me.
Pay in store, pay online.
Pay over time. Not just pay, PayPal.
Kids are natural explorers. And what better place to explore than a beach? Digging up clams, collecting seashells and driftwood, all wonderful childhood fun. Except for one very strange find in Canada that could turn a kid off beach roaming forever.
It's 2007. A little girl is out on the beach of Jedediah Island in British Columbia, and she sees this large size 12 men's sneaker washed up on the beach.
So she runs over, she sort of looks inside the sneaker. And finds a foot. Was this a murder victim? Did someone fall off their boat and get chopped up by the propeller? Who knows? But it's pretty disconcerting.
The only comfort locals take is that this horrific discovery seems to be an isolated incident. That is, until it's not.
Less than a week later, on nearby Jambola Island, another sneaker washes up with another foot inside.
At first, you might think, okay, well, you two come in pairs. It would be expected that if you find one, you eventually find another. But the sneakers don't match, and both feet are right feet. So this is a second person, a second victim. Now the pattern.
2008, a size 11 Nike washes up on Valdez Island, also with a severed foot.
In November 2008, a woman's New Balance shoe washes up on Kirkland Island, also with a severed foot inside.
November of 2011, men's size 11 hiking boot, foot inside.
2016, New Balance shoe, foot inside.
Over the next 14 years, more than 20 severed feet, complete with late model athletic footwear, wash up on nearby beaches.
This is causing terror along the coast. And to make matters worse, now pranksters are putting chicken bones inside sneakers and sending them afloat.
Investigators are flummoxed. Could all of these victims be connected?
One thing that links all of these severed feet is that none of them show any evidence of having been hacked off or sawed off or chopped off through human action. All of them are severed through the ankle joint by decomposition.
Eager to calm the public, forensic investigators start performing experiments in deep water decomposition with an unusual test gun.
Investigators take some pizza wrappers and sink them to the bottom of the sea, the area where all these feet are flying up. And what they know during these experiments is that the scavengers, pads, washers, things that are down there, immediately start to disarticulate the body.
This articulating is a fancy way of saying pulling the body apart from joints. You know, just like humans do to crabs and lobsters, but we eat them. Apparently the feet are often the first to go.
All good athletic footwear today has air pockets inside. So as soon as those feet sort of disarticulated from the body, they floated to the surface. And that's how the feet kept showing up on beaches.
But why are they only showing up in this one particular area?
Turns out the solar system has these sort of rotational currents. As they're circling around, western and eastern winds blow them back and forth, and so rather than start flowing out to sea, it sort of circles in a particular region to push them up onto these beaches.
The cause of all these severed feet is actually natural, and it's not the signature move of some crazy serial killer.
Authorities in British Columbia are so happy with this explanation that they actually tell the public not to worry if more dismembered feet wash up. Because, and I quote,
This is no cause for alarm. Maybe we'll reach the day where severed limbs don't freak us out, but we certainly weren't there in 1935. When family crowds at an Australian aquarium witness a feeding time they'll never forget. It's 1935, and this Australian businessman named Bert Hobson owns the Coogee Aquarium in Sydney, Australia. This summer, business has been slow, so he's looking for something to increase his profits. Lucky for Bert, he's got a new star attraction.
Bert has a 14-foot tiger shark, which, amazingly, he and his son managed to catch and wrangle into their tank in this aquarium.
Bert is cashing in on a current shark tank. That summer, there have been several bad shark attacks. So bad that local authorities have actually deputized local fishermen to find, hunt, and kill the sharks. At first, Bert's tiger shark is a big hit. Crowds flock in to see it up close. But soon, there's a problem. The shark becomes lethargic. It just hangs out. It doesn't eat anymore. And that is not what people are coming to see. They want their shark alive and dangerous, not sick at the bottom of the tank.
Then, this lethargic shark suddenly gives onlookers a show beyond what they could have anticipated. It throws up a rat, and then it throws up a bird, and then it throws up a severed human arm. The smell is horrific.
Hobson calls the police. They come and take the decomposing arm out of the water and take it back to their lab for examination.
One of the things they noticed is that it has a tattoo of two boxers sparring.
But it's the way the arm is dismembered that really piques their interest.
The arm clearly was severed cleanly with a blade structure, which is impossible for sharks to do so cleanly. So it appears that after the arm was eaten by the shark post-mortem.
Police now assume the victim was murdered and dismembered, and his body was dumped into the ocean where the tiger sharks tagged him. But who did this arm once belong to? They put out an ad in the local newspaper, City's Truth, and they described the tattoo in that ad.
A man contacts them indicating that his brother, James Smith, who went missing a few weeks prior, was an amateur boxer and definitely had a tattoo that matched the description. They pull fingerprints off of the hand from the severed arm, and lo and behold, it's positive for James Smith.
Investigation reveals that James Smith is wrapped up in the city underworld. He's running cocaine, he's involved in insurance fraud, and most importantly, a confidential informant.
So it's not terribly surprising that somebody might want him dead.
This case has never been solved. No one's ever come forward with new information, and so it remains a cold case until today. Like Smith, the shark has an unhappy ending. He's killed and autopsied in a hunt for more body parts. As it turns out, there are none. Coming up, a mysterious discovery opens up more questions than answers.
They get him up and he's talking as hysterically about dead bodies.
I'm into comedy. I'm also into painting. What I'm not into is heartburn. That's why I take Sabotage. Clear and feeling stomach, but Quesna can dig some acid and relieve heartburn related to non-erosive urine. Quesna is the first and only FDA-approved treatment of the type. And it heals erosive esophagitis known as erosive urine. 93% of adults with erosive urine were healed by 2 months. Of those healed, 79% stayed healed. Plus, the Quesna can provide heartburn-free days and nights. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Don't take the Levitro Quesna or while on refrigerator. Serious allergic reactions include trouble breathing, rash, itching, and swelling of face, lips, tongue, and throat. Serious side effects may include kidney problems, intestinal infection, fractures, life-threatening skin reactions, low B12 or magnesium levels, and stomach cramps. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions, medications, and if you have diarrhea, persistent stomach pain or fever, decreased or bloody urine, seizures, dizziness, irregular heartbeat, jitteriness, chills, shortness of breath, muscle aches or weakness, spasms of hands, feet, or voice. But Quesna can help fix
So please, ask your doctor about those questions. From Marvel Studios. Since the summer begins. On May 2nd. Marvel Studios Thunderbolts is now PG-13. Is your dog telling you they may have allergic itch? Apoquel is the #1 treatment for allergic itch that veterinarians have trusted for over 15 million dogs. And it starts working in just 4 hours.
Do not use in dogs with serious infections. May cause worsening of existing parasitic skin infestations that previously cancers and serious infections. Unusual cases have been observed. Do not use in dogs less than 12 months old.
Ask your vet for Apoquel, now available in a tasty chewable.
Off season, I'm a minute. Now I have the right foot hands-free Skechers slippers. No bending down, no touching. Down the road, not using my hands. I'm out the game. I relax with Skechers slippers.
Applebee's 2 for $25. Choose 1 appetizer and 2 sizzling skillet entrees, including vanilla hot honey chicken skillet or sizzling steak entrees. Applebee's 2 for $25 with new sizzling skillets.
There's nothing that can move Bounties. Bounties 2 times more absorbent so you can use less, and they close up better even when wet. With a one sheet keeps working while ordinary brands fall apart.
Great. Now where's that cream from? Get more done with 1. Now, what can you do up there?
This really is stranger than fiction. But don't just take it from me.
Follow me, Dan Aykroyd, as I unearth history's strangest stories.
Join me, Dave McCutcheon, as we investigate the most top-secret clandestine activities of governments around the world.
And together, we'll see just how strange history can get. The Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd. New episodes next, followed by Secrets Declassified weekdays discovery of them. Only on the History Channel. History on the History Channel. We've seen weird discoveries that are dug up, washed up, and even thrown up. But what we haven't seen yet is one that is dreamed up in a psychic vision. It's 1938 in Virginia Beach, and there's this renowned psychic named Edgar Cayce. He's predicted all sorts of things. It's alleged that he predicted the 1929 stock market crash, World War II, and even the deaths of JFK and Roosevelt. In 1938, from a trench in his Virginia Beach home, Cayce predicts the discovery of underwater ruins in the legendary lost city of Atlantis. He says a portion of the temples may yet be discovered under the slime of ages and seawater near Venice. He even gives it a timeline, expected in 68 or 69, not so far away. Flash forward to 1968. Dr. Joseph Valentine, an amateur archaeologist, flies over Bimini when he spots a strange collection of large stones underwater. The stones extend for about a half mile in what looks like a large cobblestone path. It's 1968, just like Cayce predicted, and these stones are near Bimini. They are also under the slime of ages and seawater, just like Cayce predicted. They call the structure the Bimini Road. Cayce devotees immediately insist it's a highway to Atlantis itself. Those skeptics are quick to pump the brakes.
Legend has it that Atlantis existed about 10 to 12,000 years ago.
When scientists use carbon-14 dating to test these rocks, there's a bit of a discrepancy. They're only about 2,000 years old.
Another huge question is why would Atlantis, if it's there, be near Bimini? Plato said that Atlantis was off the coast of Gibraltar. Bimini is 4,000 miles from Gibraltar. It's off the coast of Florida, for crying out loud.
Even though Atlantis hasn't been found, the discovery of the so-called Bimini Road is still pretty amazing. Especially when you take into account that Cayce darn near exactly predicted it decades earlier.
Many of his followers still believe, and they still do fund dives off the coast of Bimini to find this lost city of Atlantis.
Not all deep-sea mysteries remain hidden forever.
But finding ancient treasure and unlocking the secrets behind it are two very different things. In the summer of 1900, a team of Greek divers is busy harvesting sea sponges on the island of Antikythera. As the men on deck dutifully pump air to the divers working below, suddenly, one of the lifelines begins to frantically chirp. What this means is the diver is signaling to the men on board that he has an emergency. So they pull him up from about 150 feet down.
They get him up, take off the helmet, and he's talking just hysterically about dead bodies.
The ship's captain, Demetrius Condos, wants to see for himself. So he suits up and he goes down to the seafloor.
What he's found is not dead bodies. These are statues. Ancient Greek statues. Priceless relics. It sparks one of the biggest archaeological digs ever. I mean, this is a treasure trove of antiquities.
They also find coins that help them date the shipwreck. And they figured had to been around 60 or 70 BCE, over 2,000 years old.
But the most astounding discovery of this ancient shipwreck is something that is almost completely overlooked.
Along with all these amazing statues, they find this weird, like, decaying lump of stuff. But the Greek makes them think maybe there's some bronze there, and it's a bronze artifact, and so they bring it to the surface.
When they get the lump of metal back into the lab in Athens, they begin to peel away the clay. And what they find is astonishing. There's a set of bronze ears. And they put together precisely like a fine Swiss watch.
This is incredible, because this technology seems way ahead of its time. This is more like something you'd see in the 15th or 16th century, the times of Da Vinci.
The mysterious device is named the Antikythera mechanism, after the island where it's found.
For decades, historians and archaeologists study this device, trying to figure out what it is. It's 1959. There's a Princeton historian, Derek J. DeSola Price, and he's the one who cracks the mystery. He figures out that there's a name here which you turn to set to the calendar date, and then there are all these little gears which are connected to it, which predict the positions of the planets, the sun, the moon. The thing can even predict solar eclipses.
Others speculate the technology is so unbelievably advanced that it must have come from the future, or even from aliens. Was it some sort of device for celestial navigation? Were they doing astrological predictions? The problem is that this machine is such an outlier. It's the only one we know of. So figuring out its true purpose is made even more difficult.
Scientists are now using what they discovered about the Antikythera mechanism to help them reconstruct a fully functioning duplicate, hoping to unlock the rest of its secrets.
Coming up, some friendly fishermen discover a very unfriendly hermit holding a 30-year-old grudge.
To surrender his desire for his work, he pleads with the two of them to kill him rather than take him prisoner.
When your home gets bugged, the struggle is real. That's why we need Zibo, America's #1 shop. Zibo goes wherever bugs do. Working 24/7 using blue and UV light to attract and trap flying insects with no odor and no mess. And even getting rid of the bugs you didn't know you had. For effortless protection everywhere in your home. Zibo, eco-friendly, bug-deadly. Catch up to twice the bugs by Zibo Max.
Grandpa earned it from my family. Mom earned it. USA membership is for those who serve and can be shared with their spouses, their kids, and their kids for generations to come. Start your family's legacy. USAA. See if you can become a member today.
The DQ freezer is open again for a 85th birthday to bring back our most wished for Blizzard flavor. It's the Confetti Cake Blizzard Treats, filled with confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting. On your way to the party, grab yours before the DQ freezer closes.
Right now, spring deals are under $20 at Home Depot. So no matter what you're working on, you can save big on all your spring projects. Now you may sell some spring deals of $20 at the Home Depot.
and 2 rushers. Applebee's famous 2 for $25. Leaves system skillets instinct.
Sometimes the greatest rush. It's not rushing at all. The new all-new Nissan Murano.
$5 duo when DK step up to the plate and have it your ways into what the case. It's up to you, just figure it out. The hit is right through. DK, have it your way.
Okay, last stop, hardware store. Where? Here. Closer to the Cox Mobile.
Yes, we're Cox, and we have mobile. Everything you need to switch and save. Just ask Tom. They'll help you choose the right plan for you, and you can keep your own phone or pick out a new one, all running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability. So when you think of mobile, think of Cox. Stop by today.
I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that.
There's hope for the estimated 1 in 10 men who may have Corona's disease, or PD, and urology specialists who treat PD to help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today. GoGetSomebody.com.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase.
So, what brings you in today?
Just want someone to tell me what shirt goes with what pants.
Help is here. Still fits. It's online personal styling for your size, style, and look.
This was easy.
Governments around the world have kept their darkest deeds a secret from the public. But there's one thing more powerful than any agency on earth. Secrets intensified with deep determinants. New episodes of Police Head. Only on the History Channel. Wow. January 24th, 1972. 2 friends, Jesus and Duenas and Manuel de Garcia, are hunting and fishing deep in the jungle. As they approach the Calapoco River, they spot an unusual, unkempt figure checking a bamboo fish trap.
They're miles away, deep in the jungle. They see this bizarre shadow figure. He's wearing this strange outfit that's stitched together. I mean, he looks like some kind of hermit. To their surprise, the old man lunges toward them. He tries to take their gun from him, but he's so weak that he can't carry out the threat. The man collapses on the riverbank, and as he lays there, he pleads with the 2 of them to kill him rather than take him prisoner. But his pleas are in the Japanese language. They don't kill him. Instead, they take him to the local authorities. That's when they find out this man's name is Shoichi Yokoi. It turns out Shoichi came to Guam as a Japanese soldier in the middle of World War II in 1943. And he's been there ever since the U.S. took the island in 1944. He's been hiding in the jungle for 28 years. The struggle is over. But Shoichi Yokoi is overcome with guilt. Ashamed of the fact that he has finally surrendered, even after almost 3 decades.
To understand how we got here, it's important to know what was really expected of Shoichi Yokoi as a young soldier in the Imperial Army.
Guam has been a U.S. territory since the Spanish-American War. In 1941, the Japanese invaded because of its strategic importance.
Airbrand's vibrant fragrances are infused with 2 times more essential oils. The advanced plug-in, safeguarding and anti-fade technology, can keep your home always inviting. For up to 60 days. That's a lot of inviting.
America's best-selling room, bringing people together, creating better backyard celebrations, and making every breakfast, lunch, and dinner unforgettable. You can cook anything, anytime, anywhere. Go to the nearest Blackstone retailer or BlackstoneProducts.com now and make everything better on Blackstone.
The Chaperone Plaza Sabotage with more pepperoni than over half a pound. Some of the runners need to stack up. I am here to warn people where to go. So the only thing is over with. We're making it with chaperone for 12.99.
That's right, I live here.
First one, who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I believe I hold the distinction.
My house now, bitch. Now who's the funniest?
I know my way around the jail.
For God's sake, Dad, that's humility. It'll save your life. It's better than beer in the fridge.
The way I like the barrels is more predictable, like the stock photos on the corporate website.
I'm a woman in Alaska wearing goggles staring intently at a beaker that I'm holding near my face.
I'm a Latino in a hard hat, but I'm also wearing a tie so you know I'm a supervisor. We're college students listening to our professor, but the class is taking place outside?
Hey,
Hey, what the hell are you doing in here?
shower time.
Yeah, for me. That's what are you doing with that loofah?
Don't worry about it.
Ah! You told me not to worry about it!